Hi, and welcome to Tasty Tuesday, brought to you by Transition Nutrition and Fitness Coaching. I'm Angie, and I'm here every Tuesday to bring you a new and delicious whole food plant-based recipe that you can incorporate into your family's weekly menu. We're starting off in September with some things that you can put into your lunch if you're heading back to work, or your kids' lunch if they're heading back to school, to give them a tasty treat, something that's filling and nutritious that you know will sustain them throughout the day. Today we're going to be making a chocolate chip date banana muffin. They are so good, and they're very easy to pop into a lunchbox and take on the go. So let's get started. We're going to be using a high-speed blender for today's recipe for the majority of the ingredients that we're combining. We're going to start off with the dry attachment on the Vitamix, and we're going to add 2 cups of rolled oats to the dry attachment. Make sure you don't try to grind oats or other dry ingredients with your wet blender because it'll burn up your motor. But the dry attachment works great. So we're going to put our oats in there and we're going to grind them into oat flour. Once we've got our flour ground, we're going to add our ingredients to our bowl. So I've added my ground oat flour to my mixing bowl, and now I'm adding 1 tablespoon of salt-free baking powder. And I'm just going to mix that together until they're nice and blended. Now we're back to the vitamin. Now we're back to our wet container for our high-speed blender. To this, I'm adding 3 large ripe bananas. And they can be almost black. The spottier the better. That makes your muffins nice and sweet. 3/4 of a cup packed down of dates. Now if you don't have a high-speed blender, make sure you've soaked your dates for at least 20 minutes in hot water and drained them. These are fresh dates, so they're already nice and plump and juicy. I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of apple cider vinegar, 1/2 cup of cashew milk. You can use any kind of alternative milk that you like, and 1/4 cup of almond butter. You can use cashew butter, you can use any kind of nut butter you want, but I don't want the strong peanut flavor, so I chose to use the almond butter. And we're going to puree this until it's nice and smooth. Now we're going to add the wet ingredients to the dry ingredients. This is going to be a little bit of a thicker batter, or a batter that's on the thicker side. But it bakes up so nice. And they are so sweet and they taste so good. Now the chocolate chips we like to add on the top instead of incorporating them into the muffin. I'm using about 1/3 of a cup of vegan chocolate chips. I use Lily's. But if you want the chocolate chips to be spread throughout your muffin, you can put them into your batter right now and mix them in. But like I said, we like to put them on top. So you're going to mix your wet and your dry just until they're combined. You don't want to overmix it, but you do want to make sure that all the flour gets incorporated into the batter. You're also incorporating the apple cider vinegar with the baking powder, which is what's going to make your muffins get a little bit of a rise on them. These muffins actually rise a little bit more than some of the other muffins because of their acidic to baking powder ratio. They turn out very nice. So as you can see, I'm not going to over stir it, but I'm just making sure that I have all of those dry ingredients incorporated into my batter. I've already preheated the oven to 350 degrees, and now I'm going to take some silicone muffin cups and fill them about 3/4 of the way full with my batter. You will get 12 muffins. I'm going to use my scraper to get every last bit of that batter out. And they will bake for 20 to 25 minutes. You want to start watching them at about the 20-minute mark. And I use a toothpick coming out clean. You know that they are done. So now I'm going to take my chocolate chips and just sprinkle them and kind of tuck them in to the tops of the muffins. If you incorporated yours into the batter, then you don't need to do this step, or you can save some of them and put some on the top at the end. But we really like just having the chocolate chips on the top, and you do have to kind of go back over and poke them in just a little bit so that they don't fall off when you go to eat them. And then after we get all of the chips on the top, we'll pop them in the oven. Now that our muffins are out of the oven, toothpick came out clean, we're going to set them on the cooling rack for about 5 minutes before we remove the metal tray that's underneath and let them cool completely. And then we'll come back with them plated. So here are our chocolate chip banana date muffins, plated and ready to serve. I hope your family enjoys this recipe as much as mine does. They don't last long around my house. If you'd like to see more videos like this, you can find them here and here. And please remember to hit that subscribe button and share with your friends. We're almost to 500, and as soon as we are, we'll have another giveaway. If each of you just shares with 2 people, we should go over the top in no time. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you. And remember, plants are the best medicine.